Okay, then you have this favorites. This used to be a favorite before, but now people do not use it as much. You see, now you have your shortcuts, but previously we used to use this favorites tab very, very, very much. So now in this favorites you can manage your favorites and you can put the tasks that you use, the reports that you commonly run, your favorite objects. You can put all of that into this particular favorite, reports and tasks section. Now, what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to navigate quickly to those particular place, just like adding a bookmark in your browser, right? Every time. You don't need to type something. You just click on that favorites and it will straight away navigate you there, correct? So here also, you just have the option to put those tasks or put those reports as part of your favorites, right? Let's click on Manage Favorites and let's say we were looking at the task, Create Location, right? So if I want to add that as my favorite, you see, I can do that and click OK. So now what happens in my favorite tasks? I see Create Location. Okay, I will click on that and it will take me to that particular page. This is another user-friendly thing. You can put the commonly used tasks in your favorites. Okay, then you have the drive. The drive. Well, I will not be able to access the drive for Logan because I am proxied as Logan, but still I can. I can show you the high-level thing like this is just like your shared drives, like what we have, your Google Drive or OneDrive and etc. So here you can click on this drive and you can store files here. You can store some report output, okay, or you can also share documents with other users using the shared drive, alright. So you can upload something here and you can share it with other users within a world, not outside of one day, but within one day, you can do it, alright. Then you have my reports. My reports are the output of the report that you ran recently. Okay, if you are running a report, it took a while and you did not want to look at it. You wanted to do something else, and then you can come back and look at this particular report in My Reports. Okay, in My Reports. Documentation will take you to the Workday community page. You need a separate login, ID, and password to access community. What the community is? A closed group where somebody needs to add you first before you are able to access it. All Workday consultants, all Workday customers are part of Workday community, and also Workday employees. They are part of Workday community, but you have to be added to the Workday community to be able to access it. So the documentation is available only in Workday community. I mean, it will take you to the Workday community. The help will take you to a company's internal website. Okay, it can also be configured to go to community, but typically the help goes to the something internal to the company where they have the training videos, how-to videos etc. for that particular company internal help or manuals or documents. This will not, typically. This help will not take you to the Workday community. This will mostly go to some internal SharePoint or Google Drive or some other site where they store their Workday training materials. Right. I'm talking about when a customer implements this work. The implementation, I mean this work, the system. That is what this help button will typically take you to. Okay, alright. Now Recovery Assistant is again a newly added feature. Now, this Recovery Assistant will help you to recover any page that you are working with, like, let's say, I was working with Create Integration System, right? And then I went out of that page and started doing something else. So it will allow you to go back to that page. Okay, it will allow you to go back to that page. If you click on it, it just remembers that page, and it will allow you to go back and resume your work from there. Okay, if you cancel, you come out of it, you will still be able to go back to this page using the recovery assistant. Now, this has been a long pending demand of all the users that, we do not get to. If I walk out of this page, then sometimes what happens? I lose my tasks, right? So this recovery assistant will take you back. Now, if you do not want this, just get rid of it again. Keep it clean, alright. So this was a brief overview about the navigation of the things. Now, as and when we do more and more things in Workday, as and when we start creating our configurations, our objects in work, they will again go through the navigation more and more times. And as you start practicing in Workday there also, you will see that I mean how we do the navigation. Okay, so from there let's start with this topic called navigation basics and organization, that we quickly go through the slides here. So you see, this picture is a bit old. This is now the workbench. This is no longer the landing page, but this is more of the workbench now. And we saw this applications, and we saw this gear icon where we are able to configure our applications, and this is what we covered in today's session. Now, as we will start discussing our core concepts, let's quickly do a high-level discussion on what are the 6 core concepts of Workday HCM. Okay, there are 6 core concepts. The first one is supervisory organizations. You will hear of supervisory organizations a lot as part of this particular training now. Supervisory organizations are used to group the employees into a management hierarchy. Right, who reports to whom? That is what it is going to do. We will create this organization structure based on who reports to whom. Okay, that is what supervisory organizations are for. You can think of it like a department, right? Typically in any enterprise where there are some people who are working, there is a hierarchy, isn't it in any? Company or etc. There will be a hierarchy. All the people are not at the same level. People report to other people, right, and then those people will report to somebody else, like, let's say, an employee, a regular employee, will report to a manager. A manager will report to, let's say, a senior manager. Senior manager reports to a director, to an associate vice president, and so on. Right, so, everybody so. And even the vice presidents will report to the CEO, right, so everybody reports to someone else. So we create that structure, this reporting structure, in Workday, using supervisory organizations. Then we have something called as staffing models. Now, this will define how the jobs and positions are created and filled in the supervisory organization. Now, in the demo session I talked about hiring. Let's say, a director versus a sales associate, correct? So when you hire a director, how many directors do you typically hire in an organization? A limited number, right? One or two, maybe, right? So you hired a few in number. Now, if you are hiring a sales associate, how many would you hire? Maybe 10, 15, maybe even more, right, depending on, maybe, your volume. Like, let's say, if it is a Walmart, right, hundreds and thousands of people working, so you will need a lot of sales associates, right? But even in a company like Walmart, how many directors? Maybe 10 at max, 10, 15, right, 10, 15 at max, and that to 1 for each zone. Maybe for East US, you have 1 director, for North you have 1, or West we have 1. For south, you have A, centrally have another right. So the way you hire a director versus the way you hire, maybe, a sales associate are the same, similar, or maybe quite different, right? So now, how you want to hire them, that is defined in your staffing models. Okay, now how the jobs and positions are created and how they are filled, that will be decided by the staffing model you choose. Are you looking for a lot of flexibility? Are you looking to hire a lot of people? That will decide, okay, which staffing model you use. Or maybe you want to have a lot of restriction, you want to have a lot of control? Then that will decide on another staffing model. So there are two kinds of staffing models in Workday. One is position management. The other one is job management.